Yeah.
That gives me something to play an 18-year-old. I know how he feels. I know what I was going through. Because hindsight is very much a very good thing that I never really considered to be important when I have been acting. You know, like so. And this is why some people I think would struggle if they have a higher age bracket or a lower age bracket. Like I feel like me and you could maybe hit 15 or lower, sort of. 14 would be pushing it, but 15 I think it is.
I think it's playing with what you've got, and in that session, it is playing with, and I'd even asked the question about with my braces, does that prevent me from playing older ages, or does that make my age bracket lower, or what? And I think it's balancing out what does and what doesn't. Because there's certain like my physicality, I'd say it's how I'm trying to word is my braces do in some respect make me look younger in a stereotypical. However, you can't remove the fact that people that are older than me can have braces. However, if I was to be in a period drama,
you wouldn't.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
because
you wouldn't have.
I've got braces.
Yeah.
Or my role would have to be very subtle, very much like an extra, because it's just not suited to the era of you have braces. And I think it's knowing, not saying no to opportunities, not turning down. Go for it if you go for it. I think it's going for it, but then knowing that what is for you and what isn't. But it's not to say no to everything. It's to say, right, no, I see this, and this is very much, this is me. And I mean, it's not saying no to work. Never say no to work, but just knowing yourself better. I think is what I'm trying to say. Knowing yourself better, and I just think that is very much. For monologues, you need to know yourself to be able to.
So moving on now. We've a bit divulged onto all these subjects. So Greek. So we after all this we began.
We looked at different text pieces. I won't go too much detail, but we looked at contemporary, period, and classical. And for contemporary, we had an over agreement that if it's in the past 50 years. Then it's contemporary. However, that is always dependent on drama school and drama school preferences, on what they believe contemporary, because you don't want something that is. This is again all drama school preference, but it's something that came out last year, or like not so much last year, but this year, and is it known at all, or is it just what's the risk?
Yeah.
And what
the rules central speech and drama. They put on their website here's nine male monologues, here's 9 female, but underneath it said male or female or non-binary or sort of gender roles that you can do both. Yeah. So there is an essence of
because
there is an essence of change. Yeah. And I think in the next
that
10
was something
years
we've got onto as well about having, this is a complete off, and I think we should at some point go, but having like colourblind casting.
Yeah, and in the next 10 years, if you really think about it, 10 years from now, 2028, the contemporary gap might go shoof.
Yeah.
Because
it will.
Styles. So it's forever changing in its new.
So I think contemporary is one of the things that I got down is it's contemporary because it's the voice of today, and we use an example. So when we the play we went to see is All We Ever Wanted Was Everything, and in that there was references to about Trump, and it went through different eras. Yeah. So it started
just to give you a bit of context, we went to go watch a show in London in the Bush Theatre called All We Ever Wanted Was Everything, and it was a contemporary play, and it was very Brechtian, very sort of thing, and they used their references.
It was in the round.
It was very Brechtian. So they very much tried to use current affairs to. Yeah.
So it went 1997. So it went through
you
about
13
1997, 2007, 2000 and
like 13. Sort of nowadays. So
Trump was there. 2017.
Yeah, it was today. But you could definitely see the generation.
But it was within the room, people that understood the 1997 references, people that stood the 2007 2007 references, and for us, I think 2017 references is what we understand most. That's the time that's just gone.
I know, and
but to say that in say like 50 years' time, that is no longer so much being the contemporary bracket. I would say as such. It wouldn't, because Trump wouldn't be as like apparent or as an effect, hopefully. As an effect of what we understand him for. People might be like, oh, who's this? Or was he a president or someone? He'd need more explanation. So contemporary very much the voice of today. And then period was something that we had...
It was something we were told to go home and research.
Yeah.
It's something that... it's the voice of today, but it hasn't become classical. It's sort of in the grey area where...
Oh no, I'd say it's more the voice of their day, what they're trying to
they're trying to achieve, sort of. But when you look at classical, it's classical.
Yeah.
In itself, it's...
Yeah, so I had so that's I had wrote down, so All We Ever Wanted Was Everything by Luke Barnes is voices today, very much apparent voice of today. I won't give the story. Won't give the story away or say too much, but it's very much a very much key line was live your life. Why are you waiting? Why?
Because that is a key issue. It's
live your life. People are taking life too much for granted, I'd say now these days, and that was very much apparent in that play. And when we walked out, like our view of it was like, yeah, let's go. The atmosphere it created.
Everyone had an opinion.
It lifted energy. It got.
Everyone had an opinion.
Everyone had an opinion, and it very much. But a period monologue. So I put it was pre-contemporary time, before 1980s. Again, dependent on drama schools. Very much a grey area to not do for drama schools. I don't know what preference again, but it's the way it was explained to us is contemporary is one end of the spectrum, classical is the other end. You're doing different contrasts.
And it's different contrasts, just technique. Technique, just a different sort of build-up of technique.
Yeah. But so with the period text, I wrote down the Henry Ibsen, A Dollhouse, a Seagull by Anton Chekhov, A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams,
Everything
from the Bridge, Arthur Miller.
Harold Pinter, sort of his sort of era. So he wrote some of his plays to fit in. He wrote a play called The Dumbwaiter, and that play was to fit any two people can be in a room. Me and you are in a room right now. So he made a play of just me and two people talking in the room and how pointless it is.
Yeah.
To fit, but it's still in the grey area.
Yeah.
It's still
fit. That's what I mean. That's what I think for us it was to get our heads around that themes are still present today.
Yeah.
Like with a streetcar named Desire, it was between Stella and Stan. How that like spitefulness and abusive towards each other, and despite the domestic of behind closed doors. I think that's what Tennessee Williams very much showed was what happens behind closed doors. We don't actually always see things behind closed doors, and that is still apparent today that we don't always see things behind closed doors. We rarely, and although TV is developing and we get reality shows where it shows us more, but for us, this is sort of the early stage of it. It really is. But that's what I think is modern developing and going finally on to classical. So classical, I feel last year definitely, I was very close-minded that classical starts and ends at Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's Shakespeare, Elizabethan, Jacobean, Greek, Roman.
It's timeless.
It can go back so early. I know that for a lot of drama schools it is Shakespeare, Jacobean and Elizabethan are the three main ones to tackle, and I think for myself in reading notes I want to develop my knowledge on that. I'm not just reading Shakespeare, but although I want to progress and understand Shakespeare better and get a better understanding, I want to also learn knowledge of all of them. And for talking about one end of the spectrum to another, contemporary is very much heavily embedded subtext. like to say like you hate someone, you indirectly say
It's
you
melodramatic.
hate
It's
them.
very melodramatic. So
Melodramatic, classical.
yeah, classical. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm about. So you wear your heart on your sleeve. Essentially.
Yeah, classical, wear your heart on your sleeve, and I wrote in these notes that you'll see on the website is Shakespeare does this through a soliloquy, and it catches up the audience on, oh, this is happening, or this is where the story might develop, and this is my plan, and this is a reveal, and a reveal, and a reveal.
And there's a parallel.
Contemporary, it's like, it keeps you invested because you're like, what's happening? Wait, what? They hate each other? What? It's very much like keeping you on your toes. And I guess that does happen with classical, but it is, I'm going to confess my love, and this is my love, and I love everything. And
That comes down
I think
to
for our
the
classicals,
development of.
our classical speeches, like with me for Lady Macbeth, it's very much like planning
Yeah.
a plot to
Yeah.
kill Duncan, and what's happening, and I'm summoning